Hi, it's William. Welcome to my channel. I want to take this opportunity to kind of share my recent experience and my new understanding about AI. You know, I'm a programmer and also a digital artist, so I'm sort of really scared of the improvement of AI because recently the improvement of AI can sort of replace programmer as well as digital artist at the same time. So basically all the occupation that I have will be rendered useless. So I have play a really close look at the advancement of artificial intelligence as well as how they affect the current jobs. Recently I've been using trying to make a workflow. For example, let me show you this. Okay, so okay, I just made myself a little bit smaller so you guys can see me more clearly, and I'm going to bring you the some YouTube video that I made. Okay, so yeah, so it's here. So basically,
Alright, guys, as you guys can see,
I'm going to pause this. Okay, so basically, just a few days ago, I think I just made a YouTube video at my digital art channel saying that some experiment using ChatGPT to write prompt and batch generate a style image. So basically, I use like positive prompt as well as negative prompt, and I ask AI to quickly generate it and use Config UI to make a workflow. So basically, we'll batch generate a lot of image. Okay, and there is that exact moment I realized that there's still some limitation of AI, and there is still something that we can actually do as artists as well as programmer. Just hear me out. So if you haven't watched that video, you can check it out. It's really interesting. It is kind of a sort of like a half-failed experiment, but not completely a failure because I learned something. Okay, that's render this video. So let me just quickly just to make the introduction of that project. So basically, that project is that I want to quickly generate a lot of animal. So I just asked ChatGPT to write a bunch of animal, and I've done a lot of experiments. For example, add animal and a lot of description like environment, like a bear that's running in the woods, something like that, a lot. And then I fine-tune it to just say a bear, just the animal name. And yeah, of course it will generate because it's like a model that's trained with 100,000 of images as well as drawings, so it will generate a lot of animal. But as you guys can see, the result is not good enough, and it's very, very interesting because it kind of the model as well as the generation is kind of biased, and it's kind of just to lean towards a specific thing. So for example, I like that this one is kind of like a samurai. I don't know whether you guys can see or not. Let me just move myself a little bit. So here, okay, this one, as you can see, it's like a dog, but in a samurai sort of a uniform, samurai sort of the clothes, but the prompt is just a dog. So why is it generating a human-like, like a portrait image? I don't want that. I just want to draw a dog, but the model just to give me some like dog in uniform, like a samurai. Okay, and I discover more and more this tendency. If you use a specific model and that model is trained heavily on the data that mainly focus on human. Okay, so for example, there is some like really less photo about animal than human. So if you wanted the model to generate animal, they become really hard to figure out which one that you're referring to. So sometimes even if you use some like anime sort of a model, even though you say, hey, I want to generate a bird, and it will just give you a cute anime girl that's standing on the tree. Okay, true story, first hand story. So this is the first thing I learned. A valuable lesson is that the model is heavily dependent on the raw data that have been trained on, and right now you can focus not only just focus on animal, but focus on the thing that is not normally heavily trained. So for example, we took a lot of photo about cats as well as dogs, but not about say ego. Yeah, because it's really hard for like ordinary people to actually see an ego and actually keep as a pet at home and take a bunch of photos and upload that to say Instagram, something like that. So become really hard for people to actually produce all this kind of raw data. But we human artists is kind of different because we can sort of infer the whole picture. Okay, so just to give me one or two image of say ego, we can sort of draw ego in different perspective, in different expression, in different style, like cartoonish style ego, cartoonish, or like a super realistic, hyper realistic ego. We can do that, and we can even combine the ego with I don't know, dogs and dragons, so some imaginary creatures. We can do that. We human can do that, but it becomes really really hard for you to like out of the box model. You put some prompt and it will get you a decent result. Currently the AI can't do that. That's the thing that I want to assure you guys. This first-hand experience as a programmer who like developing things like based on AI, heavily used on AI, and as a digital artist who also like dabble in the traditional art as well as digital art, and heavily learn things about AI, I can assure you there is right now no model that out of box can give you a really decent result if you use this model to produce something that is that like hardly no data trained, no heavily data trained. So it can't give you a decent result. And we have to take the advantage of us human and just be more creative and focused on the thing that is not heavily trained. So that's the opportunity. At least there is like a window before AI can become so intelligent and it can infer all the things and give you like 100% decent results. Before that, it's still a window period, and yeah, sometimes normally I would just say, hey, you know what? Things AI will eventually achieve all that, so I don't bother to just practice. I sometimes have that kind of feeling, but later I realized because they will eventually achieve something doesn't mean that you will just give up learning and improving altogether. So for example, let me just rephrase that. So eventually everyone will die. Okay? So that doesn't mean that you will stop learning and stop enjoying life. So it's a process. And right now there is a window before actually they can, practically take everything, like AI take everything. But it's not there yet. And the AI sort of rely on human like us to give it the data that they train. Okay, so you either as a photographer, you go out, you take more photos about a specific animal or specific thing that AI does not train a lot. Right now you can't find like a robot roaming the street and taking all these photos and videos and get all this raw data. Maybe Tesla is doing that. I'm not sure. But there's still a window of opportunity, and we can sort of like grasp the opportunity and say, hey, you don't know how, say, I don't know, some weird animal. You don't know that, right? I already got this like one or two images from Wikipedia, and we can draw it. Okay, that's the opportunity for us. And this is the first thing. The second thing is that I'll find out as the list of animal that I ask ChatGPT to generate go longer and longer, and the animal just become weirder and weirder. It's very really not so common animal, and the AI just get so confused and they just generate random things. And I think that's a really interesting opportunity. So they can't generate things that not actually in life. I don't know how to say this. Okay, let me rephrase that and rewind this. So the AI model can't generate things that is not heavily trained. That's the first point. The second point is that even though the thing that actually exists in life, but yeah, I think it's just to go back to the first point. So AI can't generate things. So yeah, sorry about that. So let's go back to the first point because it's just one point. AI can't generate things that is not heavily trained on. So this is an opportunity for us. So yeah, let me show you the crab here. It's very interesting. So the crab, yeah, I believe is here. Okay. So as we can see, the crab is look at like a human. Okay, even though it's a really common animal, but not a lot of artists actually draw this. So even though we got like a really decent, like I use control net to control the style of the output, but a common animal. This is my second point. Sorry, that's my second point. Even though it's a really common animal like a crab, but since not a lot of artists focus on drawing the crab, so even though I use the base model as well as the control net, all that, it still become really hard to generate a decent result because not a lot of artists focused on this sort of a niche market. So find your niche is very important. And I don't know where did I watch a video like this, but a fellow artist, I believe, once said that he drew portrait, but he realized that AI generation have some sort of a bias. So they got a ethnicity bias as well as like a racial bias. So they would just like generate like a Western sort of like a typical Westerners image, okay, like from United States, from UK, something like that, but not focused on say black community, focused on say Mexican community, something like that, and of course Asian community. We seldom like use a like specially trained model that focus on that specific area. A specific community, something like that. So this is also an opportunity for artists as well as programmer. So just do not try to compete with AI because you can't compete and you can't win, but rather you can sort of improve this process by grasp this like open window of opportunity and focus on the niche that it currently can't do. Focus on the area that has been omitted. So I recently also got the idea is that like the model always produce the thing that we human naked eyes can see. But what about the microscope word? Okay, if you use microscope, you observe all this world. You can see the texture. You can see that like different bugs have like 100,000 of eyes, something like that. It's an amazing word, but you can't produce a decent result by just using the current AI like out of the box. You have to train that. So I think this is an opportunity for us. Like artists, we seldom draw like a microscope, scopian sort of a word, that universe or quantum world because we can't see it. but that's an opportunity for us. And that's the opportunity, I think, for human, because we human tend to like endeavor and like entrepreneurship. Like we tend to like go out and be brave and into the unknown and try to explore and expand the boundary. That's how human works. So we can provide raw data. So from like hard, like a cold-blooded point of view, we human can provide more data and be more brave to gather more intelligence, at least not intelligent, gather more information for this model to be trained. And that's the worth, that's the value that currently I think I found in myself. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. That's my current thought while I'm working and playing with AI. So I hope this kind of serve as a kind of inspiration. I'm not some guru saying that hey, this is like a trend. It's just some personal opinion that I want to share with you guys. Hopefully, it can sort of serve as inspirations that you can continue to think about this, and hopefully, can make some like fellow artists saying, hey, the artists say maybe there's like no worth to actually pursuing career of artists and of art anymore. I hope this video can actually help you and say, hey, is still there's like a window of opportunity for human creativity to work at least like 20 or 30 years. That's the end of my career, okay? And by that time I will be like way too old to work, and I will be retired, something like that. But still, that opportunity is enough for the lifetime. So yeah, hope this video is helpful, and if you think my video is helpful, please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thanks, bye.